Hey everyone, so I'm here reviewing the Amoril 1/14 scale buggy. It's a great little small basher. When I say basher, I mean it on a small scale. I wouldn't go out to a skate park and wreak havoc with this thing because it is very sensitive and the parts are small, so you're bound to break something. As I did, just briefly driving up and down the road, I ended up hitting the curb. I would avoid coming in a little too hard with these, so I did end up breaking the seat shelf over here on this side completely in half. I did end up just super gluing it back together right up in here, and that worked out just fine. Another thing that's pretty sensitive on this buggy are the shocks. These ends right here are susceptible to snapping. I did end up losing one. It was on this side, so I ended up purchasing a new set through Amazon. They're not an exact match to the ones in the rear. As you can see, it's a lot more smooth here compared to the front, which are very bouncy. But overall, it's a pretty solid buggy. I wouldn't go out and bash it too crazy. I would definitely stay on the asphalt and some nice dirt roads. Wouldn't jump it off any ramps or anything like that. But pretty solid buggy. Let's look on the inside. It does come with a 550 motor and a built-in receiver slash ESC. Not the greatest. There are some limitations. It does come with a 2S Lipo, which is right here, 1800 milliamp 2S Lipo. It does give you the capability of running 3S, and I did just that. I did purchase a couple of 3S Lipos on Amazon. They're the Ovonic Air 2200 3S. It is a 50C. I know on the box it does recommend, if you are running 3S, to not go higher than 25C. But I did, and it actually works out just fine. You do want to kind of be careful not to overheat the motor, because these will definitely overheat the motor with the 50C rating. Or what they'll end up doing is what I did experience is the ESC will cut. 60 amps is not really enough, and it does come with I believe a 60 amp ESC built in, so the amount of juice that this battery is putting out, it will cut the ESC if it starts getting too much amperage pushed through it. But with the 3S Lipo, I did want to find something that was going to be suitable for the spot on the side here. And what I do like about this Amoril, compared to a couple other buggies in its scale, is that it does have a spot right here that blocks the battery from hitting the center shaft, which is nice, because the last thing you want is your battery rubbing on that center shaft as it's rotating, because it will tear up the battery. What I did end up doing is removing the bracket piece that's on this end. I initially had it, well, when it comes from the factory and you purchase it, it does come with a bracket, the original bracket that's here, and then another one right here. What I did do is I removed this bracket to here because it does give you another spot to put in a larger battery. But what I noticed with this one is, even if I put that bracket in that spot, it still was tight and it wouldn't allow me to slide the battery in. But what I did do was I just removed the bracket altogether, because it does have this piece on this end that actually holds the battery from sliding around. Along with this bracket on this end, it actually slides in pretty easily. It is a little tight, but it's the perfect fit, honestly, for this buggy with this side. Actually put it on, coming in from this side. It slides right underneath, and it connects without an issue. So it's actually a pretty good fit, as you can see. And that was my biggest issue, was making sure I could find a 3S Lipo that would fit inside there. Not comfortably, but you know, it's going to be a little snug, but at least it does fit in there, and I don't have to worry about strapping it in, and it will not come out even if you shake it really hard and twirl it like crazy, drive it in a somewhat bashing manner. That battery's not really going anywhere. The only downfall was when I did put the stock one back in. I did notice that there is some movement with the battery, but I mean, if it's tucked inside there, I mean, it just will slide front and back, which is no big deal really. I mean, you're not gonna really have an issue with this on top and the 2S Lipo that already comes with it. Another thing is the chassis. It does come with a metal chassis, which is really nice. And if you are kind of bashing it a little bit harder than I would recommend, you don't really have to worry about it bending too much with the speeds that the Buggy does. Yeah, overall, pretty solid Buggy. For the price point, it's not terrible. When I picked it up, I did pick it up for, I want to say it was $149, which I think is still a little bit pricey. But Amazon, I think, currently has it, and I'll put it in the description for $119, which I think is a solid price. Also forgot to mention, but this does come with droop screws, and I do have them in place. They're okay, they're not terrible, but they do require the screwdriver that comes with. You really got to put some pressure on there to tighten up those droop screws. And you're capable of stripping those droop screws if you put too much pressure on them. So I'd be careful with that. So yeah, Amoril does have on the box a 50 km/h to 70 km/h speed for this Buggy. Kind of skeptical on it, so I did that speed run, and I'll be posting that in this video as well. But yeah, I was definitely disappointed with the speeds with the 2S Lipo that does come with it. Even with this 50C, which they recommend not to use 50C, I was still kind of disappointed with the outcome, because I was expecting to at least hit that 70 km/h mark, and I wasn't able to. Another thing to add is if you are going to run the 3S Lipos, I recommend checking the diffs. I mean, I recommend doing this regardless, but I did check both the front and rear diffs, and they were just extremely dry. So I did run, I did decide to put a 50,000 weight diff fluid both front and rear, and that's actually helped out a lot, especially with the runs on the 3S Lipos. So I definitely recommend checking those diffs out and putting some diff fluid in there, because it's almost certain that they are going to be dry. And with that being said, let's go to the speed runs. Alright, so I got this Amoril, however they want to pronounce it, 1/14 scale Buggy out here. Gonna do some test runs. I was playing around with the 3S battery earlier, but I'm gonna run it right now on the 2S that it comes with, just to get a speed run in, so y'all can see exactly how fast this thing does run on 2S, the standard 2S that it comes with. And GPS on, tracking, there we go. Let's see your track, start. Let's see how it does on a stock battery. Not gonna need a lot of room for this pass. There you go. Let's rip it the other way. As you can see, not mind-blowing speeds or anything like that. Let's see if we're close to that mark on the box. 25 miles an hour. Let's see what that looks like in kilometers. 40 kilometers an hour. So not near the 50, and that's on 2S.
Alright, well let's get the 3S in here. And hopefully the 3S does a lot better. Alright, let's see. Tracking. Alright, let's start. Read. 1 mile an hour. Tracking. There we go. Just that steering trim a little bit. Come on. See, the range is terrible on this thing. There you go. Man. Come on. But let's get it back and check that speed. Alright, let's see what we got. Stop, read, 38 miles an hour. Not what I was hoping for. Let's take a look at it. Kilometers, read, 61. So still about 9 kilometers an hour off what the box says. Alright. So that's the test. Not overly impressed with the speed as advertised, but for the money, it's not a bad little buggy. I definitely do recommend it at its price point. I think right now it's on eBay for about $119, which isn't bad. When I originally purchased it, I think I purchased it for $149.99. So I think at $119 it's actually a pretty good deal.